Hello everyone, my name is Kaloyan. I'm the product manager here at SolarMD. Today I have the privilege of interviewing some of the renowned leaders in the renewable energy sector, making waves within the industry. Join me as I interview IBC Solar as well as SolarMD. Ladies and gentlemen, today it is my honor to introduce two remarkable leaders within the renewable energy sector. Mr. Udo Mohrstedt, the founder of IBC Solar and also a part of the Secretary Advisory Board. Additionally, we also have Kaloyan Dimov, the CEO of SolarMD. Mr. Mohrstedt founded IBC Solar in 1982, daring to challenge the status quo of solar energy when its potential was rarely recognized. Under his leadership, IBC Solar has become a global leader in sustainable power generation with a mission deeply rooted in accessibility and innovation. Joining us is Mr. Kaloyan Dimov, whose company SolarMD, established in 2014, is a market leader in energy storage in South Africa as well as globally. Specializing in lithium iron phosphate batteries and energy storage solutions, SolarMD epitomizes innovation and sustainability in the energy storage and renewable energy space. Could you share with us your journey in the renewable energy sector and how it started?
I told you, or you mentioned already, that I started in 1982 with the renewables. Before my career started in the battery business. I worked 14 years, first in the company in Germany called Varta, and then 2 years in the company of my father-in-law. This was a company, Moll, provider of lead-acid batteries for the car industry in Europe. And I founded in 1982 IBC, and IBC originally is an international battery company, or battery consulting later on, and then later IBC was International Battery and Solar Power Company. And please, at the beginning it was heavily difficult to convince people to buy a module, because also at that time the price of the module was extremely high. So it was difficult to convince the people. At that time in Germany, it was not allowed to inject into the grid as today, which is the usual use of PV. So all the system which we built at that time were standalone system, PV plus a battery. At that time, only lead-acid batteries. In 1990, the German parliament decided that electricity distribution into the grid was possible, was allowed. And so the first program, which in Germany started in 1991, was the so-called 1,000 roof program. Later, because of the unification of both Germanies, it was the 2,250. And the system was between 1 and 5 kilowatt, and the subsidy was between 60 and 70%. That was a starting of the PV industry also in Germany, and we developed quite well. After the 1,000 roof program finished, we fall into a hole, and slowly we came up with small percentage of government subsidies between 15, 20, 25%. And later then, because we have two very active politicians, we came to the 100,000 roof program. The 100,000 roof program finally ended with an installed capacity of 350 megawatt. And that in the between, it was the idea of the so-called feed-in tariff. So if you have a PV system installed, you can inject the electricity into the grid, which was necessary. You could not use it for yourself. It was only all electricity has to be injected into the grid, And then it was the first start of the so-called EEG, which later became a very famous, international famous law, the Renewable Energy Law, we call it in English. So, and then the market started, and we had crazy, how would you say, developed very crazily into large systems. And 2011 in Germany, the total installed capacity in 1 year was first time 7 gigawatt. And then because of politicians who didn't want, now I would say, they fear that the guaranteed tariff would overload the government's budget. And they reduced considerably the tariffs, and that was the death for so many German companies. And that was the start of the Chinese, who then became very famous because of their real huge investment into PV capacity. So, and now I won't remember just all the figures, but we started in 2015 from 1.8 gigawatt per year, and now last year Germany 14 gigawatt installed capacity, and the total capacity in Germany is 84 gigawatt now.
So as the demand for energy storage continues to rise globally, how does SolarMD plan to facilitate this rise in terms of production while maintaining product quality?
So SolarMD, we started a little bit later than IBC Solar in 2014, and we have been growing very naturally, and we're trying to accommodate whatever we can achieve to achieve it on the best possible way without compromising on quality or on shortcuts in any way. So we have been growing about 200% year on year since we started existing, which it's exponential growth. I don't know how long it will last, that exponential growth, no? But at the moment we are planning several different activities to extend our production. As we were just now in Richmond Park overviewing the construction progress of our new facility, that will increase significantly our production to 3 gigawatt hour. And we opened earlier last year, in May last year, our facility in Europe, which it's a 60 megawatt hour facility, and we're planning, as the demand grows, to increase the production there on a similar way how we did in the last 7 years in Cape Town in South Africa, which is small units adding until not building too big first, like some other competitors building a gigafactory first before they know what to do with the area. So basically the quality is very important. So we will continue using all our test methods. We're testing each and every battery for quality. We're recording all the parameters. If there is a quality issue, we're recalling components. And we're doing it like any other responsible manufacturer. We're not going to run away from responsibility.
In 2017, you decided to start IBC South Africa subsidiary. So after almost 8 years, how do you assess that decision now? And what are your plans for the future?
First, the decision was right, without any doubts. And for the future, we want to grow. You need to grow like a tree. A tree who doesn't grow, he dies. So this is the philosophy. And we feel and we see that the South African market is very important for Africa in total. From here, many of the ideas of renewable energy is spreading into Namibia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, and so. And we see South Africa as a very hot spot for our activities.
So SolarMD is expanding into Europe and the Middle East. How do you envision this expansion contributing to the company's growth strategy, and what opportunities and challenges do you foresee in this market?
Yeah, the expansion in these new markets is strategically right as per our strategy due to the logistical challenges which we experienced in the last 4 years, going through COVID, going through Suez Channel issues and unforeseen delays. It's important for our clients which are existing in Europe and other parts of the world that they receive their equipment on time. So we are looking into partnerships with new or known players like IBC Solar to extend our hand in these areas, as well as maybe open small manufacturing or assembly operations where needed or where makes sense, just to make it more streamlined and quicker for the clients.
How has the current partnership between IBC Solar and SolarMD been valuable?
It's a bit a question of the situation in South Africa because of the load shedding. And as I told you before, IBC has been, for the first 8 years, was a company with standalone system. That means PV plus a battery for applications, whatever you want. And here we see, in South Africa, we see the need for PV plus battery systems because of the load shedding. Instead of diesel generators, which are loud, and also the emissions you have to take into account. And PV is becoming cheaper and cheaper. So slowly, I'm convinced that the diesel generators will disappear and instead will be replaced by PV plus a battery. And so our cooperation is a must.
How has the current partnership between IBC Solar South Africa and SolarMD been valuable, and what lessons and experiences from this collaboration could inform potential partnerships in other regions, such as Germany?
So IBC Solar South Africa and SolarMD started partnering together when both companies were not very big yet for the region. So IBC Solar is a large company, corporate in the world globally, but the local subsidiary was relatively small. And we actually, at the beginning, we started buying from IBC Solar Sunny Island SMA inverters and building these low voltage containerized solutions at that stage, like 21 Sunny Islands with 1.2 megawatt hour. And for that moment, that was a bit surprising for them that they get these orders. It's not very typical that somebody orders such a large amount of Sunny Islands. And slowly we started discussing how we can partner together, and it was quite difficult. I'm not sure how much trouble they had to clear it with the product managers in Germany, because we were a small company. But finally it happened, so we started supplying them. And I think beneficiary for both companies, the growth was quite similar for the subsidiary in South Africa as for SolarMD. And obviously we are looking to expand globally now, and we want still to support fully IBC Solar in South Africa, but also looking for partnerships in other areas, maybe not immediately Germany, but the IBC Solar has other East Europe or South Europe or other places of the world where the product can match quite instantly into the market. And then if we can do Germany as well, it's first prize. It will be good for me also to return back to the country where I studied.
What advice do you have for Kaloyan to have such longevity in the renewable energy sector?
Yeah, my first advice would be Don't care if the business goes up and down. Keep on a line. Yeah. So follow your idea. Concentrate on your real job. Differentiate what's my job, and in this job you continue to grow. This would be my advice. If you can accept, I don't know.
I'm accepting.